about a family and nothing I wouldn't do. And they know what I'm going no matter who. Stairs vacant, I'm plotting my next move. Shot my niggas is getting this stacking blue. Tell them watch for the jackets and undercovers. All the snitches and bitches that say they like it. Not a trapper, I died, but it wasn't me. Streets of snatch, had you on somebody's teeth. Shot my nigga, they left him for dead. Hard to kill them, we come for revenge. Told them something won't happen again. For the caliber one in the head. Let them curses come blessings instead. Ain't no waters that I couldn't tread. You end up if your brothers ain't fed. At the table, we breaking the bread, yeah. Crown royal, I don't chase it. She ain't loyal, I replace it. Try and play me like I'm basic. I see clearly like lace it. If it's a challenge, I embrace it. Don't test me, then I ace it. Show my mandolin, watch me lace it. Lawless going crazy. I said a law of vendettas. Prove y'all wrong, my pleasure. Enemies use all measures, yeah. If you knew better, do better. Follow my lead, trendsetter. We certified go-getters, yeah. Me and my niggas. We don't talk shit, talk business, yeah. Ride to the finish. Only one try, we giving, yeah. Win hand winning. Don't smoke to the sky, no ceilings, yeah. I'll be there in a minute. The pedal to the floor, we living, yeah. Drawbacks is a small cause for the dream, yeah. Fall back, never fall off, I've been scheming. All facts, we been long gone from the scene, yeah. Cooking up bean, yeah. Serving up fiends, yeah. Money machine, yeah. Building up steam, yeah. Talking, I seen it. Not on that screen, yeah. Nubian queen, yeah. All of my DM, what it's gonna be, yeah. Yeah. I said a law of vendettas. Prove y'all wrong, my pleasure. Enemies use all measures, yeah. If you knew better, do better. Follow my lead, trendsetter. We certified go-getters, yeah. Me and my niggas. We don't talk shit, talk business, yeah. Ride to the finish. Only one try, we giving, yeah. Win hand winning. Don't smoke to the sky, no ceilings, yeah. I'll be there in a minute. The pedal to the floor, we living, yeah. Me and my niggas. We don't talk shit, talk business, yeah. Ride to the finish. Only one try, we giving, yeah. Win hand winning. Don't smoke to the sky, no ceilings, yeah. I'll be there in a minute. The pedal to the floor, we living, yeah. Better late than never, I suppose. I've been sleeping on this gold. Now I'm woken, boy, I'm fucking on it. Pulling shit together with my bro. Yeah, he keep me on my toes. So we cooking cause we fucking hungry. She just want a nigga with some goals. But this world so fucking cold. When she find love, won't know how to hold it. I've been feeling anxious on the low. I just leave it to the most. Life's a gamble and we never folding. Better yet, I welcome every wager and he take us from a line. Watch me make your money mine. Someone told me time is money, but see, really, that's a lie. Cause that dollar, I can get it back, but seconds, they go by. But don't get it twisted, I'm with it if it's by the check. I need compensation and all deposits come direct. Baby needed some shoes, lady need her a house, but I ain't counting the seconds, I'm just making it count. I woke up and decided to let them talk and I'ma be about it. And through it all, girl, I'ma be a rider for you. That's why I'm out here trying to change a dollar to two. And for the record, it's way more deep than what you expected. I'm playing chess when they saying king me, I'm yelling checkmate. I'm moving with a purpose and it's such a blessing. And in the end, it's worth it cause there's no regretting. I'm having a breakthrough. Break rules, yeah, that's something that the greats do. Ooh, don't ever let the evil take you. Yeah, I'm at the top and it's a break. They'll get it into the last straw. You know today could be your last call.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Wednesday Hump Day edition of the Uninformed Fan. I'm Tyson, your host, TRL Business Time. Along with me, my good friend and hat on the hair, Jeffrey off of the schneid, sporting the Magic gear today. Feeling a little good about the Magic this morning. Jeffrey, how are we? Have we recovered from our wonderful event on Monday? And what are we looking forward to?
The epic time of 10 holes of golf on Monday. We're fine. I worked last night. I mean, get it together, suck it up. This is what we do. We're professionals, you know.
That's a pretty loose term with us.
we push ahead, you know. Clear minds, open hearts, you know, sky's the limit. Here we are. We had a good time, though. We had a good time Monday. a little gauntlet of golf, and then we got into a little bit of darts, which the teams were completely unfair. And then
I think Paul rigged that, by the way. I think Paul rigged that. I don't think the number that he pointed out to his guy, I don't think that was him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Paul's a really good dart player. Always beats me. And so then you're going to put me and Ian on a team against you and Paul. It's like, I mean, what are we doing here? You know? But, you know, listen, I guess that boost was needed. So it was a good time, though. Good time. Golf, you hit the ball okay. You know?
Me and my wife are actually going to start doing some yoga.
Okay.
Yoga. I told her I came home and once again my head was hung low because I can't finish a round of golf anymore. Every time I swing the club, it's like somebody's punching me in the lungs, knocking the wind out of me. And I said, finally, enough's enough. I got to make some changes here. I have been, back in the gym for a while, but I need to get some flexibility, some stretchability here because, that's probably the one thing that actually I do get a little bit of enjoyment out of and I'm fairly good at, and I can't even do it anymore. So I'm already at this age. What happens in another 10, 12 years? So we're going to yoga. Yoga. Maybe goat yoga. Yeah.
Love that for you. Is that with baby goats or what? How does that work?
Yeah, there's just goats. Like you're outside in a field and the goats are like jumping on you.
Yeah, I don't know why that sounds appealing at all.
I don't know, but it sounds kind of cool. I don't know. Goats are just a cool animal, man. Besides the devil reference, but goats in general,
right?
Pretty cool.
And the horns and the
baby goats. Why would you say baby goats before they get to the devil phase of their life? Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah. Good day. Good day.
Yeah. No, it was fun. It was fun. Then I worked yesterday. Now here we are, ready to chop up some sports, talk a little bit, have the boys on a little bit later. A little Gap Wedge Wednesday that we have for you. Country Club, Chad and Paulie Parputts celebrating another victory. Here we are.
Is the dog having a rough time downstairs?
Can you hear it?
Oh yeah. They having a rough time down there? Everybody okay?
I don't know. It's just me, and I don't know. She's been barking for the past like 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, you have the house by yourself today.
Well, they'll be home any second.
Back to school shopping?
Is getting no. All that's knocked out already. Got all the shopping taken care of. Clothes are bought. Supplies are bought. We're ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll in this household. Pushing them out the door.
My bad. Are you then my next question, are you excited that it's back to school time? I think we've answered that question.
As Noah turns to me today and I go, hey man, I gotta go on the computer to do the podcast, and he just gives me the biggest why can you not just have your own setup?
Well, technically this is my setup.
Here we are. So yeah. Anyway.
Good.
Yeah,
well,
technically it is.
I was going to say, technically, son, this is mine. I don't recall you going to Best Buy and putting your credit card down. So, therefore, I don't know. What do you say? What do you say? We chop up some little sports here.
Yeah, just me and him home right now. The everybody's gone because the little one, not the youngest, not the few weeks
the middle,
but the other one is getting fitted for some spacers in his mouth to expand and recorrect his jawline. And so it's really cool. They actually take this thing and they kind of graze over the top of your teeth and the bottom of it, and then they send it off and they send back a specialized mold for your mouth that is only unique for yours.
You're talking to somebody that's had some serious dental work as a child. I had 15 teeth pulled at one time. Yeah, spent some money on that bad boy. Marcus Buffington. Yeah, because I guess they said I had too many teeth, but like when my adult teeth were coming in, my other teeth weren't getting out of the way, so it was like creating like a New York City traffic jam in there. So they literally just ripped. I had like these 4 right here, I think, and then I had a gap all the way back. Yeah, dude.
You have veneers, right?
No. Oh, these are natural, baby. These are all natural. Oh. Yeah.
Man, those are some pearly whites then.
Yeah, the filters do good. Marcus Buffington in the house on YouTube. What's up, Marcus Buffington?
What up, Buff?
I'm still a little mad at you, Buff, about not working tomorrow night. I'm going to the boathouse tomorrow night. And nobody's working. Nobody's there.
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Thursday. Yeah.
I'm sure you You know,
No,
sure
nobody's
someone's
there. Nobody's there. I think Kim is in the boat, so maybe I'll
Kim G.
maybe I'll send a text to her because we're going in with her peeps. Going in with the OJ, Steph. It should be a nice little.
Whose birthday is it?
Nobody's. Bianca's sister's in town, so we're just going out for a little dinner.
Is it the which sister?
Well, the only one that doesn't live in town.
Okay.
You know which one. Let's get into a little bit of sports, shall we? So some big news coming out of the LeBron James family is poor Bronny James suffered a cardiac arrest while practicing. Just terrible you see it. I remember that when the Keontae Johnson, suffered something similar for the Florida Gators. Absolute scary scene. So, thoughts and prayers out to him and his family. Regardless of what you think about LeBron James or anything, nobody, or at least myself, I can only speak for myself, we never want to see anything happen to anybody's family members or anything of that nature. And then, I don't know if you also saw as well, the ESPN commentator collapsed. Shaka Islap. Now, if I mispronounced the name, I am so sorry. Hit me back on the flip phone. We'll get it going.
I think it was pretty close.
I thought so. I kind of typed it the way he said it instead of probably how it was spelled, but just some scary stuff that's going on there in the athletic world in regards to this. And not only this, just across the straight flat plane of a lot more cardiac arrests going on. A lot of conspiracy theorists are going to say it's because of the jab. I don't know. I don't think that even if it was because of the jab, you're never going to know. So, I mean, it's just going to be complete speculation at this point. But, it's just scary to see all of these young, healthy athletes that are having a little bit of problems. And when I say all of them, I don't know exactly what number I'm talking about, but even one is too much in my opinion. I know that, like I said, that Keontae Johnson came back, and, I never did understand why he didn't come back to Florida. I think that the doctors at the University of Florida would not clear him. I think that there was some kind of a liability there, but he obviously, I don't know, because he went to Kansas State and was fine. I don't know. But, thoughts and prayers out there. Hopefully we get a speedy recovery. He is out of intensive care. Just scary time, man. Scary times.
It is scary, and it's scary when you have healthy, young kids who are, supposed to be at the peak of their performance, who are, suffering these things. And everybody's going to speculate, and that's one thing we're probably not going to do here, is speculate on this. But we hope he gets better. There's a lot of moving parts of this that, you're going to break down, you're going to analyze as well, too. Obviously, LeBron is holding on because he wants to play with Bronny at some point. We hope that Bronny's able to get back to that dream could possibly become a reality. But first and foremost, LeBron's just going to care about his kid's health. There's nothing scarier as a parent than when you are helpless and at the mercy of doctors with your child. You can't do anything. You have to just trust in whatever it is, if it's a higher power or if it's the skill of the doctors themselves. But definitely scary stuff there. We hope he gets better. I don't know what's going on across the board, but it does seem like in the past few years we've had a major uptick of these things happening. So hopefully they can do some research and figure it out and find out what will get to the bottom of it. But I mean, listen, it could be anything. People want to say
it could be. It could be.
They don't know. I mean, a guy could have taken too much pre-workout, before he went out there, and he's trying to compete at a high level as a freshman, at USC, playing against other guys. They have one of the best college basketball teams in the country this year as well, too, with all the talent that they acquired coming in. So be interesting to see what happens. But first and foremost, Bronny's health is the main important thing there. We hope he gets better.
So we're talking a little bit about, whether LeBron James will continue to play in the NBA to figure that out. He did say at the ESPYs that, he would quit when his body was no longer, able to do so, but that time isn't now. And then, we bring in the speculation a little bit, if because let's be honest, Bronny being able to play at that high level now has just been severely set back. If we saw anything from Keontae Johnson, it was 2.5 years before he was even cleared to be able to play on a court again. So then we're talking about still going back, you're not doing full basketball activities and you're trying to relearn, get back up to that peak of condition. So that did bring up the point, would LeBron continue to play even though with this setback? And then we saw somebody put it out there as well, and I don't know who put it on the group chat. Well, what about the Saudis? And some of these contracts, after we talked yesterday about a $1 billion total contracted for a soccer player to go over there. And then on, I think it was his Twitter or his Instagram, one of the two, he put a meme of Forrest Gump running out the front door saying, me when they offer that 1 year contract to go play in Saudi Arabia. Now, from my perspective, I think he absolutely would go over there because, I mean, to turn down $1 billion to me is just, I don't know, that's crazy. Even though he's already a billionaire. Let's just put that out there right now. You could go into the point, well, how much money is enough money? Well, there's never enough money because the way that this economy is going, the way that the world's going, inflation's at 8%. If you think about just the straight inflation aspect of it, if you get a good mortgage rate, or I'm sorry, not a mortgage rate, if you get a good interest rate on like a CD or something like that, you're looking like 6.5%. Well, the inflation rate's at 8%. Your money is not even keeping up with the inflation rate. You're actually losing 1.5%. So yes, there's not enough money. And plus, when you have a big family, I mean, obviously LeBron has made some generational wealth for all of his kids. They probably would never have to work if they so chose to. However, you start getting the tiers down, right? Your great grandkids and so forth and so on. I mean, there's enough money there potentially if it's managed correctly for that entire lineage, right? To never have to work again. But I think it comes back to the other point we were talking about is what the infiltration of the PGA and the infiltration of golf worldwide. The Saudis have now introduced the fact that they have more money than anybody in God's green earth and that they will get what they want. So not only did they get the golf, they got they're starting to get the soccer, right? We got Ronaldo that's over there now, continue to press it up. How long before they get into the NBA? And I know that you brought up a little bit about they got a little bit of a minority stake in Washington, but I mean, are we looking at a 10-year road where the Saudis now own all professional sports?
Possibly, and obviously with money buys influence, and there's a few different things I'll address with this. So you mentioned the $1 billion thing. If you missed it, Kylian Mbappe, PSG, they had a little bit of a falling out. Saudi fund swooped in. They offered PSG $332 million on a transfer fee, which is the highest number ever in the history of the sport. PSG gladly accepted that, and now they have a chance to open up negotiations with Mbappe if Mbappe would like to go there.
I will say, though, that he has come out saying that he has absolutely zero interest.
Yes. And I've said before, if these guys, Cristiano Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, these other people as well, too, you're going to play for these teams that nobody over here is paying attention to. You don't see a highlight from them. You're pretty much giving up your brand and taking a bag. So you have to kind of factor that in with whatever brand money you're getting as well, too, which is kind of tough.
But with that being said, said, if they set up sovereignty or whatever, or if they get a passport and they set up citizens in Saudi Arabia or Dubai or something, there's zero taxes.
Correct.
So when we're talking about, I think his portion of that transfer fee was something, and I think $200 million. As far as the transfer fee, then the contract was like another
$776 million.
So you're talking about if you set up sovereignty right in there, you're almost at $1 billion straight up tax free for 1 year. So when you're talking about as far as your brands or something, are you ever going to accumulate that much money via your brands in the next 5 to 10 years?
Maybe not. But is your brand going to take enough of a hit where in the next 10 years that number is completely unreachable? You know what I mean? Like Messi right now, for what Messi's doing, Messi obviously turned down that money and he went to Miami, and we saw viral very first moment he gets into the game, you see the picture of Serena and LeBron and the Kardashians and all these people standing there taking photos of him checking into the game. I know you rolled your eyes. I said Kardashian.
No. I'm looking at Justice.
They were Justice in Vegas right now. Shout out to Justice. Justice, send me pictures of that sphere, bro. I don't want to get off on too much of a tangent. I'm so obsessed with this sphere, Tyson. It is incredible.
It is nice.
Anyway, it's
the eye is a little creepy, though.
Yeah, the eye thing is weird. But, like, everything else, like, when they put the moon out there, they put the... Oh,
yeah,
just, dude,
I'm looking for it. I'm going about three or 4 weeks.
Okay. Ian's going in 2, so Ian will be out there in 2 weeks as well, too.
Nice.
So a lot of people heading out there. I'm going to try to get out there with the wife at some point before the end of the year just to check things out and enjoy. But so what I was saying is that basically you see a guy like Messi who comes over, right? You talk about Messi's brand, and the first thing that Messi does is he comes into a game and last touch of the game, left foot, free kick outside the box. They're playing in this tournament, the Tournament of the Americas. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. Jeremy could probably help us out with it. But it's basically you're playing MLS versus a lot of the Mexican and South American teams that they have as well too. So it's very interesting tournament. And Messi comes out first thing, goes viral, right? Boom, he's on the scene. Now you're talking about Luis Suarez. They're rumored saying Luis Suarez might want to come join Messi in Miami as well too. These guys want to live in a great state, do the whole thing, grow their brand. I don't know if that billion over the course of, let's say, 10 to 15 years is going to be worth taking your brand away that much and missing out on these moments that you're going to get having.
It's only 1 year though. So you're telling me, let's just say this guy goes over there for 1 year, right? Gets his Billy, and then he calls up Messi, says, "Hey, bro, I want to come play in Miami." Do you think they're going to be like, no?
They're just going to be like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, he only had a 1 year contract. This is only a 1 year deal.
I'm just saying. Different. You're different. Tyson.
I understand that, but you're saying like, so let's say Ronaldo, right? Let's say Ronaldo at the end of his Saudi contract calls up Messi and says, "Hey, bro, I want to come over and play." Do you think that the world is going to be like, "Oh, you sold out to the Saudis for a year"? No, they're going to be like, "Yeah!" They don't care. Fans don't care. Unless you're a part of a group, right? A specific group that the Saudis have done wrong to. Listen, but the majority of fans don't care. They just want to see America? The player.
Like the specific group that the Saudis have done wrong to, like America, like 9/11, like those such things. Yeah, I mean, probably you're going to feel some type of way about it. Absolutely.
Well, I don't.
Go ahead and watch it, bro. If LeBron ever did that, if LeBron ever decided, I will go over there and play basketball. LeBron loses any and all credibility of anything that he's ever preached for and stood on a mount and said.
Time out. What does LeBron stood on a mountain and preach for?
I'm just saying, like any kind of these equal rights things, any of these things, you lose automatic zero credibility. Whatsoever.
But he doesn't speak out against China and all of those things, and
he's signed against them.
And he's signed it, and he has $1 billion a year with Nike, who use child sweatshops in China. So I mean, at what point does that just become, the world as it is? You know what I mean? And I don't think that he loses any credibility. I really don't. I
disagree. And as somebody who holds LeBron in high regard, as I do, I will say he loses a lot of credibility with me.
You know what? When we bring in the boys, let's ask Paulie Parputz, who is also a big LeBron James fan. Let's see what Paulie Parputz thinks about that. But I'm going to go with I'm going to go with the majority of people, and that are just going to say it is what it is and move on.
Back to your original thing though about will the Saudis ever be able to enter into NFL, NBA, major sports in American territory? They already sort of have. A couple months ago, they bought a 5% stake. The Qatari investment fund bought a 5% stake in a group that is run by the owner of the Washington Capitals and the Washington Wizards. So this is the first step. This is the first time anybody from that area and the investment funds have been allowed. The NBA just changed their rule last winter to start to allow these investment funds to be able to creep in as minority owners. But it's kind of one of those things. I feel like once you get a little wedge in there, what's to say we're not going to start?
It's going to end up, bro. At the end of the day, I mean, the human nature is completely greedy. It's all about money. Yeah. The players want to make more money. The owners want to make more money, and these guys have enough money to wipe their ass. They could buy the NFL, the entire league, over 4 times and not even feel a dent. So I think it is going to come in. We're going to move off of this topic because we do have a little bit to get into before we bring the boys in. But I just feel like, it's going to your point of what you just said, the door is creaked open. If they want it, they're going to get it. If not, they'll just start something else, and then they'll just start signing all the players away from the NBA as well. I mean,
when you get a little a little crack or like a leak somewhere, you know what I mean? And the water starts to come, and then more water comes, and how do you control that water from just bursting open?
You put on some Flex Seal. That's how.
We'll
Flex
see
Sale.
what happens. Shout out Flex Sale, sponsor of the show. We appreciate it.
Moving on to the NFL news, right here in beautiful Orlando.
Yeah,
We will be
great.
once again holding the 2024 Pro Bowl here at the Camping World. Is it Camping World Stadium still?
It is. They're going through a little. I don't know
Renovation?
if it'll still be. Yeah, so they're basically that tourist tax that they have that they've talked about doing different things with is very heavily in talks of building a roof on top of that stadium. So it'll be retractable. But
Retractable? No way, dude.
I
You're
believe
talking about
so.
Billy's. No way.
Yeah. Yeah,
Why?
that's how much
Why?
they have.
Why do we need a retractable roof? Why does all of the elements of sports have to be controlled now?
Because it's hot and because you want to be able to host college football national championship games and different things such as that. And so, yeah, that's one of the factors that are going to delve into it. So.
You think if that stadium puts a dome or retractable roof, they could potentially host the college football championship?
1,000%.
I think it's going to need a lot more than just a roof. They're going to need to redo that whole thing.
I think the infrastructure part of Orlando is going to be very appealing in terms of the amount of hotel rooms and the amount of the way it's spread out in terms of where it is, the accessibility to everything as well too, hospitality wise, the restaurants, the dining options, the nightlife that we're able to offer here as well. I think all that factors in. I think Disney, Mickey Mouse kind of puts a nice little brush and paint on everything. If you want to go be a degenerate, you can go over to Tampa and get all the degenerateness that you want to. It's only about 45 minutes away, but you can keep it nice and clean here in the city of Orlando. I think it's very appealing to most major companies that are going to be the ones who are sponsoring.
Maybe we can get a Super Bowl.
Maybe. That was one of the things is that they were going into the bidding for March Madness, different basketball games and different stuff like that. But they wanted to make sure that the I-4 infrastructure was completely done before they went into those bids. And so it was a little bit of a process. If you lived in Orlando for any amount of time, you know that entire downtown area, getting those express lanes in, everything has been a complete process with that. But we finally moved through that, and we're at a point now where I think they're ready to start going for bids and stuff.
You know what really pisses me off about that? About the whole I-4 infrastructure. So we looked at a completely outdated system, right? That the city has completely swallowed up in I-4, which is a federal road, right? Federal tax dollars that goes from your income taxes, things of that nature. So we said, you know what? This needs to be reworked. This needs to be adjusted. There's way too much traffic volume. We need to expand lanes. We need to create a better flow. Right? So we say, yeah, let's do it. So what do? They add lanes. But if you want to use said lanes, you have to pay to use said lanes.
Mm-hmm. It's $1.
It's $1 to start with. You know, when I drove from, and this is Florida, but we don't have state taxes. So, this is some of the offset as far as state roads and stuff like that. You know how much it costs to drive from my house to Miami on the turnpike?
Yeah, I do.
How much is it?
It's like $30.
It's like $40 each way. $40 to go on the road. So now we have a federal tax, a federal
You can hop on a
road.
bus.
Yeah.
Take a Greyhound.
Okay,
You know that
Jeffy.
drive.
Well, that's
Be
more.
better
That
for the environment.
no. Have you seen the shit that those things pump out? I don't think so. It just amazes me that we have a highway, an interstate that is funded by the federal government. We have infrastructure issues, and our thing is, okay, let's add lanes, but let's make people pay for it on top of it because we don't have enough tax dollars to be able to cover those types of upgrades. So shout out to
I don't really mind it.
Well, it's because you're flush, bro. I mean, you're flush. Yeah. What about all these other people like me that can't afford to get into that lane and have to sit and bumper to bumper traffic watching all the rich people just fly by me left and right, and I'm just sitting there like I'm at an express lane at Disney and I don't have the money for a Genie Pass. I'm always just reminded where I'm at in the societal structure as I see them just whizzing past me. Unbelievable. Speaking of unbelievable, Saquon Barkley signs a deal for
Truly unbelievable.
$10.1 million fully guaranteed with $2 million possible in incentives. What the fuck are we doing here?
I didn't see $2 million possible in incentives. I saw 990,000 possible in incentives.
I don't know, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong. I could have swore it said up to $2 million more in incentives. He got part of it as a signing bonus, which was, I think it was like maybe it was $2 million was a signing bonus.
He got a $2 million signing bonus.
Maybe that's what it was. But so we signed a contract, but it is fully guaranteed. Now, I don't know if the franchise tag money is fully guaranteed or not. I would think so. So we basically signed a contract the same as the franchise tag to get a $2 million signing bonus. So is Saquon behind on his bills?
Sure, I think his agent needs to be fired, though. I'll tell you that. The fact that they turned down like 15 earlier in the year, and then now you're going to turn back and you're going to accept this deal, which on paper is whatever. And now we're down to only Josh Jacobs is the only one who has not signed the franchise tender so far that we're still waiting on.
I thought Pollard didn't sign.
Pollard signed. Pollard was the first one to sign.
Well, I mean, and kudos to him, Bo. I mean, he went from $900,000, to $10 million. But so $1 million in incentive, an available incentive. So he gets $1 million extra that I guess he probably couldn't have got. But wow, dude!
They can franchise you again next year.
Yeah, they use the tag.
The exact same thing. Like,
so can you franchise? You can franchise somebody back-to-back years. Only twice, right?
3 years. I think three. I thought Kirk Cousins got franchised 3 years in a row.
I thought it was 2, but I think it might have been 3 though because he switched teams. Right? Doesn't it?
He didn't get franchised in Minnesota. Immediately, as soon as he went to Minnesota, he signed a long-term deal.
But I don't know, man. It seems to me like we just kind of went backwards here. You know, we're beating on the top of the drumstick about how we're not getting paid, and then you literally just signed the exact same thing.
Not even waited like 24 hours. Like
I just still don't.
24 hours in, you're like, just give me $1 million more. We're fine.
I just still don't understand.
The 15 for 3 years.
Exactly. Why would you turn down? What did you think you were going to get? Especially, and I think that you can look Zeke right dead in the eyes for this, Saquon, because they gave Zeke that bag, and then 2 years later he's done. He's done. Yeah. So therefore, what did you think? You thought you were going to get more than Zeke? What is Christian McCaffrey, like 18 million? I think that's what he
16,
wanted, right?
15 or 16.
I thought I thought it was 18. I thought he wanted a Christian McCaffrey contract. But I mean, you're at $15 million, bro. That's still the top 2, right? At minimum, top 2, maybe 3 running backs in the NFL for 3 years. Now I don't know what was guaranteed or what was not. That it is what it is. And again, it's completely speculation. But what'd you think you were going to get? An extra $1 million per contract? I don't know, but yeah, So then we go from the poor positions of the NFL to the rich positions of the NFL. Justin Herbert, 5 years, $262,500,000 contract, over $25 million a year.
Over how much?
5 years.
Yeah. How much per year?
I'm sorry, 55 is what I meant to say. I apologize.
Yeah,
I didn't get a lot of
California, so that's unfortunate for him as well too.
Yeah, 40. Yeah. He'll bring home 47% of it.
Yeah, but man, listen, I think Joey B is going to be around the same when we're talking about it. I don't know if Burrow has the motivation or the want to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. I think Burrow likes winning. And I think Burrow likes having the weapons that he has around him. So we'll see if he takes one of those Tom Brady type things, which at this point is like 50 mil. You know what I mean? Like you're only talking about like taking 50 instead of taking. Well,
now 60. We're at Patrick Mahomes is on a value contract after he set the market 3 years ago.
1,000%, but that's also what they said. Like when he signed the contract,
he said
they said, listen, this is what it is, but in 4 years, this is going to be a steal because you're going to have the best quarterback in the NFL for about 50 years.
So I'll say it again. First of all, I think that just the way that professional sports salaries are going absolutely fucking egregious. Let me just put that out there. I'm not opposed to anybody getting their bags, but I just don't see how many years more down the road that they can keep increasing ticket prices to where eventually it's the entire sports landscape is going to look like New York, the Yankee Stadium, where it's all corporate, right? When they put in all those nice chairs, it's all corporate. It was 2 to 3 years ago. I can't remember what it was. I went to the Bears-Patriots game, and I bought these tickets at face value straight from the Bears ticket. It was $468 a ticket. Now, I'm not talking about front row. I'm talking the very last row of the lower bowl. $468 a ticket. After fees, everything, it was $1,000 for me and my wife just to have the tickets, right? That was 3 years ago. I can only imagine what they are now.
Yeah.
It's just, where are we going?
8%, at least 8% over a 3-year span. You know.
And again, I'm not opposed to the players getting their portion of the revenue shares, whatever, because the money is in there, right? Here's what I'm saying that the majority of people don't attend the games, correct? But majority of people watch from home, aka paper fans, people that don't want to get involved or don't want to spend that kind of money to be able to go to a game. However, I really feel like the amount of money that they make off their television contracts, their sponsorships, and all of that should far outweigh the actual in-person ticket price. Let the fans experience the game. Make your bags elsewhere. We already pay. I mean, some of these authentic jerseys are going for $300 off the rack. And when I wonder, I finally put two and two together. You're the one
setting the market.
I'm not. Absolutely not. I'll tell you, and I was getting ready to tell you, the guy that has this white party, the guy out there in the Hamptons,
Michael Rubin, Fanatics.
He is the devil when it comes to that shit, bro. Because Fanatics, dude. Ask any sports collector that's going out there right now. Everyone is just up in arms at Fanatics because they're literally buying everybody out, and then they're setting the market. So let's just put that in perspective real quick. They have a jersey that maybe, let's just say Ohtani signed, right, for $800. Obviously, they have that person under contract, but if you were to go get that person signed like through a straight agent, it would be approximately about $175, maybe $200 to have him sign that. They own their own manufacturing of said jersey. They pay $12 to have that made. Mm-hmm. They're on a 50 to 80% markup on every single thing, and they continue to raise the prices. And then what they did with Tom Brady is absolutely egregious. They've just absolutely flooded the market and killed Tom Brady, all of that. Kudos to you for having the business model, get it up and going. All I'm saying is, at what point does an average fan no longer be able to attend games? That's all I'm saying.
And pretty much there.
I don't know. I look around because I go to Bucks games, right? I look around and I'm like, well, shit. There's 40-some thousand people paying $180 a head to walk in here. Some people got money, I guess.
But I'm saying, like, there's no more of the romantic. And, we should have labeled this episode Money, 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 Money.
It really has been. I had a great day in the market, too, today. Whew.
Pretty much all we've talked about. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like the romanticism of, like, a little kid, out of the projects, trying to sneak into a Yankee game and, falling in love with the game of baseball. Like, we've thrown all that out the window.
Why they got to be from the projects?
I was just trying to use a general term of somebody who comes from a less fortunate circumstance than others in terms of financially.
I know. I just wanted to hear you say that. I agree.
The best politically correct answer you can get out of me.
And going back to Patrick Mahomes, right? Just to wrap this up, we're way behind here. But just to wrap this up, so Patrick Mahomes, I don't know if you saw, was in the limelight because he didn't give a kid an autograph at a golf tournament or something like that. And
I didn't see it.
And the dad filleted him, and he said, "Look, bro, I 1 out of every 100 I could maybe get it." There was another person that chimed in, and I can't remember. Jeremy, if you can find who chimed in on this, but this comment actually pissed me off, and not for the reason that you think. He said, I'm going to say it since all of my professional athletes are scared to say it. We don't owe you shit. We don't owe you an autograph. We don't owe you anything. Just because we play a game doesn't mean we owe you anything. Now, I will agree with you on the autograph 100%, but you do owe us something. And all we ask for is 100% when you play your game for whatever team that you're playing. Because you do owe us something. Because if it wasn't for the majority of the fans, who's buying your product? Who's buying the jersey? Who's buying the TV packages? Who's buying the tickets to allow you to make $25 million a year? So I agree with you. I agree with the take as far as the signature, because a lot of people are just going to sell them anyway, right? I mean, you go to Michael Jordan. If you can get him to sign anything, that's $2,000 a swipe. You can sell that for $2,000. And I agree with that. And there are some people out there that truly just want it to be able to have it. I have a lot of jerseys, a lot of signatures. I'm a true fan of sports, but I also sell them. So I understand that comment. But you do owe us something, my man. You do owe us something. We are literally providing for your life.
Well, I feel like, too, like the old school, older athlete who was trying to build a following, who was trying to gain fans and everything like that, they would put in the time to sit there and sign autographs and, have time with kids and so on and so forth. But it's like once you reach a certain status, you feel like you don't owe anybody anything anymore. Which fair or unfair, it is what it is. But I just.
You can't please everybody, and I will say you can't please everybody, and you're going to skip some people, and you're going to not.
Are you going to make an effort to try to please people? Because it seems like we're at a place now where it's like we don't care about who's pleased and who's not. It's kind of fuck you, pay me. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's why really, because it was a Green Bay Packers that said it. Devondre Campbell, inside line. I'm going to say this for every pro athlete that's scared to say it. We don't owe you an autograph just because you asked for it. The linebacker further added that people anyway sell such stuff. So absolutely, so I guess I misword. He's absolutely right. Athletes do not owe you an autograph. Absolutely not. I agree with him 100%. So real quick, we're going to get into a little bit of the MLB trade deadline before we bring in the boys for another great episode of Gap Wedge Wednesday. The deadline is coming up. We have a few teams that we're going to talk about. Ohtani, is he going to be able to be moved? We talked a little bit about. I think the biggest one that I think that we wanted to discuss a little bit was the San Diego Padres. Absolute all-star team on this. Absolute all-star team on the San Diego Padres that haven't done shit. They have the same records as the Chicago Cubs. I don't know. I think there's just too much talent on that team. I don't know whose contracts are coming up, but at what point do we say, hey, this isn't working? You can have all of the talent you world, just like the Cubs in the World Series run that they had. The team won the World Series, but then they couldn't put anything together after that. Same people, same players. You look at everybody that's went out. Javi Baez has just completely gone downhill ever since then. Wilson Contreras has continued to come here. Chris Bryant is almost... Addison Russell beat his wife and now he's gone or something like that. Chris Bryant's completely absent anymore after getting that huge payday from Colorado. Hardly ever plays.
Dexter Fowler, Jason Hayward.
They're all gone. So, I mean, everything looks great on paper. I mean, look at the Yankees. We're going to talk about them in just a second. Again, all of these names on paper, they're dead last in their division, and we're talking about them being buyers. So, first of all, let's talk about Shohei Ohtani. Is he going to get traded? Where do we think he's going to go? I don't think that the Angels are going to get what they want for him. I just don't think it's possible. And rightfully so. I mean, they should be basically taking the entire Yankees team for that person. And I don't think they're going to get it. So I don't know how you, but then again, if you don't do anything, you don't get anything. So I think they're kind of in a pickle here. What do you think?
Ohtani is interesting. If you would have asked me a week and a half ago, I would have said guaranteed he gets moved. Now that we're inching closer to the deadline and there's no real smoke, which leads me to believe that there's no fire. So I don't think he gets moved. I was dead wrong about this. I thought 100% for sure he got moved and the Angels would make the right play here. There's a one team that's very interesting to me when it comes to, and that's the Tampa Bay Rays, because the Rays would do it knowing that they're only getting into it for a 1-year rental to try to push and win a World Series. And they have the pieces. They're going to have log jams at certain positions. This would be a very interesting, shrewd move by the Rays if they were able to step up, offer the best package for Ohtani, have Ohtani come for 1 year, let him be a free agent next year, go about your business, do whatever you want to do, but maybe give him a taste of Florida living and see if he likes that at all, and kind of go from there. But I think they could offer the most lucrative package for Ohtani, and the Angels are serious about moving him.
I agree with being able to offer the package. Obviously the Tampa Bay Rays are one of the lowest payrolls in baseball, so therefore to be able to offer those people as trade bait with the lower contracts, I think would be very enticing. However, I really feel like he's not going to get traded unless he's getting traded to a place that's going to be able to absorb his contract. Because just like you said, right? So the Rays might have to give up 3 or 4 players for him. Okay, so then after
3 top 100 players,
right? So then after this, after you don't win the World Series, or even if you do at the end of the season, whatever. I guess if you win the World Series, it's all great. But if you don't, now you're in a little bit of a rebuilding phase where you've been pretty much at the top of your division for the past 2 to 3 years. Your team is already very solid on paper, and you're probably not going to sign him after this because, let's just be honest, the Tampa Bay Rays are not going to spend that kind of payroll. So that's the only reason why I don't think it would. I think to your point, the chip's absolutely great. I think that, unfortunately, it's going to be type of an evil empire type shit where, whoever's going to end up signing him and be able to pay that $60 million a year or whatever, I think that's who gets to trade him just because they can get him under contract and sign that contract while he's in this 1-year deal before he can hit the free agent market.
I think he's going to make $75 million going forward a year. Starting next year. But I'll say this. If there's 2 things the Rays are missing right now, then you look at their roster. They want a number 1 power hitter who can change ball games on the swing of a bat. They have a Rosarena. He's good. But I don't think that there's that guy that, like, strikes fear in the hearts of opponents when he comes up. They're extremely consistent 1 through 9. The other thing that you need a number 1 ace pitcher to come out there and be the anchor of that rotation and just really dominate games. And I think
McClanahan's been very well, right?
He's been very good, but what I'm saying is that you want that guy who is going to, like, match up and strike fear in a 7-game series that you're able to roll out there twice, maybe 3 times if you have the ability to. And I think Ohtani fits both of those.
Let me ask you a question, and I know we're probably going to skip over the rest of this. We're going to bring the boys in here real quick.
Yeah.
Let's say you're in the World Series. Do you pitch and bat Ohtani in the World Series?
Of course.
Really?
Absolutely.
What if he gets hit?
By what? A ball?
Beanball.
What if he gets drilled? What if he turns his ankle trying to step over the foul line because he's superstitious?
Okay, but that's not. I think it's far more likely that he could get injured swinging the bat than tripping over the foul line. I think I think that's something that's very interesting. It's very interesting. I don't know what would be going on. And just to wrap it up,
the other thing is too, you're only getting him for 1 year. You know you're not re-signing him next year, right?
Maybe.
Let it go, like Elsa, bro. like throw him out there. He's throwing 3 times every 7-game series. He's batting every single game, no matter what. Ride him. You know.
Real quick, do the Padres blow this dream team up at the deadline?
No.
They ride it out again all next year?
They're too invested. They're gonna re-sign Soto, I'm sure, this offseason to a huge contract. They'll bring the band back together, see if they can change it around. That's it. You got to ride it out until you can.
Just keep firing, huh? Just keep firing.
A wise man once said to me, keep firing.
Just keep firing. And as far as the Chicago Cubs go, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. I think that they'll probably move some people because, let's be honest, they just suck balls. Just a very mediocre team that continues to be mediocre, and another one that just continues to have fans no matter what they do.
Listen, if you can get some stuff for a guy like Stroman or some of these other cats, go ahead.
Stroman and Bellinger are the 2 on the block. Looks like the Yankees are involved in Bellinger as well. I don't know what's going to happen with Stroman. Obviously, he's had a breakout year.
What an anomaly of.
And again, how are the Yankees buyers? How are the Yankees buyers
Trade Giancarlo
when they are in the very bottom of the division? I don't know.
They have no hope. Who are they? Who are the Yankees catching in that division or in the wild card? Even they're not catching the Rays. They're not catching the Blue Jays. They're not catching the Orioles.
They're not catching the Red Sox, who whooped up on the Braves last night.
The only thing that the Yankees are catching are herpes. That's it.
First of all,
maybe
syphilis. How about the Red Sox allowing a triple play against them last night as well, too? Congratulations on the win, by the way.
Does that change a score?
I was about to say, I'd take a triple play and win. A triple play against me and win every single game.
You guys aren't coming in like this right now. We're not coming in this hot, all right? And by the way, Paul, Tyson has a very interesting question for you, if you will so answer it.
I forgot what the question was. Can you ask it?
If it has anything to do with Monday, I say pass.
No.
I say pass.
No,
it doesn't have anything to do with Monday. It has to do with. So there was this.
Anyone remember Monday other than me?
Yeah, I remember everything.
Yeah, I was fine. What do you mean?
Oh, that's because Tyson left early. He never came to Kitty's.
I went to the bathroom.
I had food. I was good.
And stayed in the bathroom or what?
I don't know after that point.
I had some wings and then I threw some darts with some friends.
What was the question? I forgot.
The question was, so there, obviously, whatever's going on with Bronny, but there was a situation or a hypothetical.
Oh, okay, I got it.
About if basically it was put out about Mbappe getting $1 billion to go to the Saudi or whatever, and LeBron put something out there saying, "Man, let the Saudis offer me $1 billion for 1 year. This is what I'm doing." And then it was a picture of Forrest Gump, the running meme of Forrest Gump running around the curb like he's sprinting towards Saudi Arabia. Would it change your view of LeBron? As somebody who's a LeBron fan, as I am, would it change your view of LeBron at all if he took $1 billion to go to Saudi Arabia and play basketball for that regime?
No, I think that it would. It doesn't change. A paycheck at this point in his career doesn't change what he did for 20 years in the NBA. And I think now, just like I said about the guys who went to live in the beginning, the guys like Paul Casey, the guys like Ian Poulter, Phil Mickelson, etc., best decision they could have possibly made financially. It doesn't change the quality of golf that they're playing. It doesn't change the quality of the field that they're in every time. But I think you're 40 years old and they're going to pay you $1 billion to play basketball. You'd be a moron not to do it. So I think as far as my opinion of the business person, LeBron James, I think that fits. But
do you think it fits though for him to go play for?
He's a billionaire now. He's always He's always been a proponent of the partnership with China. So if you have any problem with this Saudi Arabia thing, and you think the NBA already isn't in bed with people who treat people poorly, it's not. And I'm probably not going to have a TikTok account after this, but China is not good guys. Like if we're talking, and there's no good guys.
I guess for me, it's a difference of like, you're part of an organization that is kind of forced into that partnership, as opposed to this is more of you choosing to partner with that organization.
So let me interject there because I'm the one that
little differently if he were to choose to go to Saudi Arabia to play basketball for a year and live over there. But that's just
Paul. I 100% absolutely agree with your take. You actually said it pretty much verbatim of what I said when I talked to him. And so Jeff, I just want to talk to your point right there about the NBA's forced into this thing. So we all agree that LeBron James is the face of the NBA, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He's very heavily involved as well in regards to structures, all of this stuff being involved. So do you tell me if LeBron James took an Eric Cantor approach and said China is wrong?
Ennis Cantor?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
China is wrong. We need to look to ways to either sever said connection or look to ways to improve said connection. Do you feel like the NBA would take on that?
No.
So then why do you care if he goes to play for the Saudis?
Because you're talking about he's playing for somebody who's a group of owners who's part of an organization who is there to only monetize themselves. They don't care about anything else. Most of these owners don't care about any of that. Whereas opposed to LeBron would be choosing to go play for Saudi Arabia.
Do you think LeBron cares about that?
I don't know. I feel like his actions say, and the things that he tries to stand up for, and socially.
That brings us back to the same point. What does he stand up for?
I think you're missing the mark on that one, Jeff.
That's okay.
He does stand up for NBA dudes taking pot into Russia.
On that note, we're going to jump right into Gap Wedge Wednesday. Welcome, Chad and Paul. It's a pleasure to have you.
I will put my take on
Juwana Man. Juwana Man.
Hey, LeBron would solidify himself as the GOAT if he went to Saudi Arabia as the GOAT of the Saudi Arabian League.
If he could do it on 2 continents, that puts him up top.
Oh my God, the greatest ever.
Okay, that's a fair take, Chad. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here, boys. Congratulations once again, Tyson. Can you please stop doing that? Thank you so much. It's great to have you.
Well, now I got to do it again.
What a great Open Championship that it was as well. And man, Chad,
not a great Open champion.
It was a fantastic Open Championship. Just because you can't respect the fact that a guy went out there and played his balls off and played amazing golf and was doubted by everybody in the universe, except for one, Chad Breen, right here on this exact show.
It's almost like you didn't listen to the show on Monday. I actually do respect his play. I just thought it was a boring tournament, though. When you have approximately 2 hours of golf when there was a 2 to 3 shot lead, otherwise it was a complete blowout. It's not very entertaining. That's all.
Chad, congratulations to you on the hit. Amazing to see. I know it was a great weekend for you as well too. Where were you at? What was going on? And how did you end up watching this thing?
Well, luckily, the weather, they moved it all up for me.
Yeah.
So, because I was flying out of Austin in the afternoon there, so they moved it up. So I was watching on my way to the airport while I was getting ready to go to the airport and everything. And I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty boring to watch, but I didn't care how boring it was because monetary value means a lot more than my what I'm watching, And I'm just glad he held on a couple times there. Like the first hole he bogeyed, and I'm like, oh, here we go. It's gonna happen.
Had like 2 bogeys in the first 3 holes or something like that.
Yeah, and that's when I'm like, well, there was that.
There we go. Yeah.
And,
You thought I
but
jinxed you or something, you know?
Yeah, that's what you like to do.
He
You
did
gave
try.
Rory,
He did
you
try.
gave Rory his Scottish Open win when you told me great pick on McIntyre.
It was a great pick, no matter if he won or not.
Yeah, well, I didn't get 90-1. I only got 25-1. But thanks.
Okay. Well, anyway, Paul, I have a question for you. So, you know,
Sure.
you've stated in the past that, you know, you and Chad are usually very 50-50, maybe 60-40 if somebody really tries to convince you of a pick here. And you stated in this tournament that it was basically 99% to 1%. Chad was extremely confident in Brian Harmon. You didn't like Brian Harmon, or
That's
you,
not true.
not that you didn't like him.
Jeff's
So,
down
go ahead.
bad today, man. Jeff's down bad today.
Yeah, man. I mean, this LeBron thing is taking him out.
He's all out of
trying to
sort.
turn friends against each other and everything.
I'm not trying to turn.
Man,
I'm just wondering the
nobody-
background of it and how you came to the decision and how you came to the agreement and so on and so forth, Paul.
We've had 3 of 4 winners out of the past 2 weeks, and we missed one by one of the most historic putting performances in the history of golf. And we have to talk about how it was all right and everything. I couldn't be happier. I'm coming on this morning we are heroes at this point.
Coming in hot.
Absolutely.
You know, I just pulled a muscle pat in my own back because I thought, you know, there was going to be a band and a parade and everything else. I mean, if you have been following us all year, you're taking Akshay Bhatia. You know he's our guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
for
Chad,
him,
Chad said his name 15 times this year.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
him I was sitting on the runway and I text Paul my last text. Said, hopefully Akshay pulls something out of his ass and pulls this off. And then I
The
land.
first text he read when he landed. Akshay.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
You didn't pay for the Wi-Fi on the flight to be able to watch it, Chad?
No, I couldn't afford it after the Brian Harmon win.
Spirit doesn't have
Fair
Wi-Fi.
I slept. And plus, my
So-
wife had the Wi-Fi on the way out there, and it didn't really work that well. So
Basically, what I was
my
trying to
money.
get at is, you know, obviously you guys go back and forth with the picks and everything like that. And you ended up, Brian Harmon was one of the guys that you landed on this week. And kind of what was that process going through and how did you kind of get there? And why were you so confident in him this week, Chad?
I was just following everything he's been doing lately. He's had like 3, I want to say it was 3 straight top 15s or top 20s. He's hitting the ball really well. He actually performs better than people think in the Open. He's good with wind. He's not going to be a long hitter. He's going to place the ball where he needs to. He can play left or right, draw or fade to the wind. So I had a good feeling that he was going to be just fine over there. And it was mainly his form that got me going. He was so on the cusp of winning. I was very confident in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, just one of those things that if he puts it all together and he can definitely win it. So that's why I was like, you know, Paul, this is my number one long shot that I really like. And, you know, Paul knows me and he's like, you know what? If you feel that confident, then I definitely like it too. So he rode along with me. We all had a good weekend.
Good. Well, listen, congratulations. Obviously, to hit 3 out of the past 4 in the past 2 weeks is unheard of. But the run that you guys have been on this entire year has been pretty unheard of as well, too, in terms of the amount of winners that you've had as well. Just big congratulations to you guys. It was funny because I said to Paul on Monday, I go, so now that the major's over, you know, what do we have for golf? And Paul looked at me dead in the eye and goes, there's golf every week, my friend, all the way up until
Exactly.
December. So there's no worries. The train keeps on moving. We give you big flowers, big victory lap. Congratulations to both you guys on the hit. Absolutely amazing stuff this week. But with that being said, we're moving on. Paul, what are we looking at this week, and where are we landing on the PGA Tour?
So we are at TPC Twin Cities. You've heard of the Twin Cities in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Minneapolis and St. Paul. Well, this one's in Blaine, Minnesota. So the TPC Twin Cities is not in either of those cities.
Interesting.
Blaine, Minnesota, longer course, over 7,400 yards. It's a par 71. And the one thing you're going to hear about, and maybe you've heard of the land of 10,000 lakes.
That Minnesota.
There's a lot of water here. So last year on tour, there were 303 water balls at this event. So it leads the tour last season in balls lost to Poseidon. We've got not penal rough. Rough is not penal. Fairways are a little on the difficult side as far as hitting them. Greens are large, 6,500 square feet. Let Chad tell you a little bit about what we're looking at.
All right, like Paul said, there's a lot of water all over the place. A lot of it is going to be reachable from the tee. So we're looking at strokes gained off the tee. Make sure the guys can place their balls where they need to in the fairway. And if they do miss the fairway, like you said, the rough's not that bad. So you could spray it a little, just not too much. And then you're going to want to have your balls placed very well in the fairway where you can approach. It's also it's a first and second shot course, really. Putting is very easy here. Not a lot of undulations in the greens. It runs on a 12 stent meter, and especially inside 15 feet, people are pretty much I think it's the third highest putt made rate on tour inside of 15 feet. So just about anybody can putt here. So if we get a hot putter, it's going to be someone that's going to do really well here also. All the par fives are reachable. All three of them are under 600 yards. So that's going to be a big step for a lot of people that can easily reach them, especially if they're coming in with shorter irons. They can a lot closer proximity for them. Mm-hmm. So you definitely want to be able to get a lot of birdies and avoid bogeys. And avoid the double. That's going to be huge here. You're not obviously just any tournament, but especially here because it's going to be a birdie fest.
Paul, who do we got that we're looking at? Maybe past winners or guys who have performed well in kind of the formula that we think, and maybe who we like.
Yeah, so past winners, the first iteration of this was 5 years ago. Matthew Wolff won that one very early in his short PGA career. The following year was Michael Thompson, also known as Normal Guy. He was dubbed Normal Guy at the RBC Heritage that Webb Simpson won. My wife and I were watching that, and she said, "Who's that normal guy?" Because Michael Thompson just looks like a stock photo of like white male golfer.
But didn't he like grow a beard and get all like
he does look. He looks a lot less normal these days. That's correct.
Yeah. Guess we can't call him that anymore.
Not anymore. Cameron Champ was 2 years back, and Finau won last year. Now, three of those guys are what people might consider bombers. Long off the tee, average more than 310 driving distance, and not traditionally great putters. But Cameron Champ gained less than a stroke off the tee in his win and gained 8.5 strokes on the green. So as to what Chad was saying, this is a place where guys who are not normally great putters can become hot putters, and everybody but one. So Finau gained a ton from tee to green and only gained 1 stroke on the greens, but everybody else gained a ton on the greens. So if you're looking for somebody who maybe doesn't necessarily putt super great to putt pretty well here and get from tee to green like they normally do and go low. So we're probably looking at 22 to 25 under this week, I'd say.
Wow. Will that be that'll be the lowest ever?
No. Finau was 22 last year. You're testing me now. Maybe we can get a 3-time Emmy nominated.
Three-time Emmy nominated producer to get us the record. Figure out what the lowest is at this tournament. Chad, who are we looking at? I'm gonna start long shots this week, maybe. Let's switch it up a little bit. Let's start with some of the long shots that we like, and then we'll kind of move our way up.
You're throwing me off. Oh shit.
It's at the bottom of the page.
Oh yeah, down there. Okay. So someone like Austin Eckroat. He's played very well. He was in good form. He's apparently not a Lynx player because he went over to play the Scottish. Didn't play very well. Got him back over on American soil. I like what he does. He hits the ball in the fairway. He has a decent approach. His approach numbers for the year don't look great, but lately they've been good. His best putting surface is also bent, so he's playing very well. He's like 70-1. Doug Gim, he's a tee to green guru. And he's just one of those guys that he's like a Cameron Champ. He can't putt, but he can get it to the green all the time. And then I'm gonna take Champ again because he's a guy that he's a horse for course guy. All of his top 10s, top 20s wins have all been at the same courses. So it's like a course he likes, he plays well there. And I'm gonna get him at 70-1, so I'm not gonna leave him off my card.
Love that. Paul, who do we got? Any long shots for you this week that we're looking at?
Yeah. So longer shots. We're talking those guys are more in the middle. I guess go back to the Justin Lower name. Not super confident in him, but he is the best putter over the course of the last 24 rounds on tour. Putts really well on bent. I know I just spent time telling you that putting doesn't really matter, but if he hits it tee to
Putting
green,
always matters.
he can roll the rock.
Yeah,
So
bent is his best service too.
Yeah, so he's going to be the guy that I think is going to be maybe the longest.
Okay.
As Chad was saying, the guys that we're looking at are going to fall somewhere between probably 30 and 80-1 this week. And we'll have a few more than normal because we're not really going heavy at the top. So if we're investing at the top, it might be one guy. But in the middle range, Cam Davis is a guy who plays courses like this well. He won at Rocket Mortgage, and he's played well here in the past. Emiliano Grillo, the one thing that we'll say about him is he was at the top of the leaderboard there over in England.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super concerned about these guys coming back. Finau, when he won, finished 28th in the Open and then came back and won this. Finau and Emiliano Grillo is a little bit of a not the same player, but tee to green, he's playing about as well as he has in his career. Won recently this season.
Yeah, he when he won, he was plus 7.4 strokes putting, and since then his best has been 2.8. So it's one of those things for him.
But this is a get right putt course, so yeah, it's kind of the one where he could do that again.
Right. Kind of.
I mean, if Cameron Champ was 8.5 plus, then anybody can putt here.
Fair.
Even me?
Even you, Jeffrey.
Another name we've mentioned a lot this season is Steven Yeager. Just another one of those guys, tee to green, gets right with, the putter, and he's going to be going low. And Aaron Rai. Aaron Rai is fairways and greens and two gloves and
ball striker,
head covers on his irons, and he's just a conservative player that
I thought you were talking about politically. I'm like,
yeah, he's a conservative. He's a big J6 guy.
Only missionary, not huge on
lights
weird.
Off.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Big family planner.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway,
good. Kirk Cousins. Yeah. Kirk Cousins of the PGA Tour.
Yeah. No,
Aaron Rai. I love that. All right, Chad. Anybody you got at the top of the board that we're liking this week? Anybody that not super great odds, but you're just very confident in? Maybe anchor your daily lineup.
I don't really like too many people at the top because the guys that are playing here played in the Open, and most of them were kind of competitive in it. So if I had to take one guy from the top, it would probably be Sung J M. But I'm probably not going to have him on my card, honestly. I just don't.
Okay.
I don't like at a course like this. The favorite's only won once out of 4 times, so I feel like this is more of a guys that maybe get their first win type stuff. So
Middle of the roads.
yeah,
Anybody in that range that you like name wise?
yeah. I'm gonna go with a couple of the Canadians seem to play well up north.
Yeah.
And this is I feel like this is the northernmost part of the U.S. that you're gonna play this year. So I'm gonna go with the Canadian boys Hadwin and Pendrith, like both of them. One of our Florida boys, Eric Cole, at 50-1. He's been stroking the ball very well lately. He's on the cusp there. He's one of those guys that's always up there. It seems like he's always fighting every week. I think he could possibly pull it off. And a guy that has resurrected himself in the last month or two. He's changed his putting style, so now he's not god-awful at putting. And he's actually gained strokes putting the last few tournaments. That's Lucas Glover. He finished 4th at Rocket Mortgage, 6th John Deere, 5 Barbasol. He's a strokes gained tee to green aficionado, so to say.
Ooh, nice.
And as long as he gets his putter going,
Good
he
work.
can do some damage. So those be the guys I'm tailing this week. And if you're gonna go for a couple of long shots, as like far as DK lineups to pad the very low price point, Bryce, the big ticket, because we're in Minnesota, Garnett.
I see
I
what you
like
did
that.
there.
I like that. Very
Yeah.
nice. All right. So the Garnett, keep that in mind for your daily DK lineups. Paul, anybody you got? Put a bow on this for us.
I think it's tough to ignore what Cameron Young's been doing recently. Was vocal about going to some kind of sports thought specialist, a head specialist, a feelings person, to try to manage his course anger. The Tesori stuff seems to be trending in the right direction, while Mother's Day does not occur in July. It's possible that he does get that first win. He's, as far as players go who are playing now that have a pedigree, he's probably playing the best out of the favorites in the field. A guy like Justin Thomas is still trying to find it. Could it happen here? Sure. His putter's been weak, and this is a get-right putt course. Fine. Not backing him. Hideki Matsuyama is a world-class player. He's in the field. Tough to ignore that stuff. But I think Cam Young, what he's been doing as far as tee to green stuff, and then could he find it this week? Possible. So I think if I had to bet one guy at the top, it'd be Cam Young. That's pretty much how that's looking. I will say I'm not trying to throw stones, Chad. You've been hotter than anyone when it comes to golf picks, but I might need to get you a globe, because the PGA Championship was in upstate New York, and I think they were like a handshake away from the Canadian border.
Sorry.
So this might be just south of that. I don't know.
Still north.
If I don't know longitude and latitudes, as well as some people, but Detroit is up north too, right? Michigan is pretty north.
Okay, so third.
I don't know. I don't know where Blaine, Minnesota is. I know
It's up there.
It's in Minnesota. That's all that really matters.
It's good. They are Minnesota nice there.
Minnesota. Shout out to Chris Shea, fellow Minnesota.
Hey.
Colleen as well too.
Oh wow.
Minnesotan as well.
Oh yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, what's
He
up?
should love this one.
Oh.
Great info as always, guys. Definitely appreciate you. I have one question for you. This is just a guy, and I saw something said about him. Obviously, he's having a terrible year, but a win would go a long way for making him a captain's pick probably in the Ryder Cup, and that is one Justin Thomas. Is there any realm where we see that JT comes out and just finally turns. I mean, he's been terrible this year, but we know what he can be. And so, you know, and I don't know, that was a fake account that somebody posted about the Tiger Woods things about, you know, he got married and he told him not to and blah, blah, blah.
Well,
But,
Ricky said
Huh?
said he got married in 2019 and his golf game went to shit until now. So
Ricky came out and said
Yeah.
that.
The same thing happened with Jordan Spieth, by the way.
yeah,
He got married and he did not play well for
like
quite some
the
time.
first year or two.
I got news for you. It didn't click with me until
Marriage is
recently.
taxing.
But here's something that you know about Ricky Fowler for sure, right? Maya was there celebrating him on the green at the Rocket Mortgage. Jordan Spieth has celebrated on the green as a dad. Justin Thomas just recently got married, and those three guys got to go on children's trips soon. So,
Yeah, so
he
marriage
he
is
might
not
be
the ticket.
he might
Having a
be
kid
using
is the
his
ticket.
energy. He might be using his energy elsewhere. That's all I'm saying to you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Those
All
are the
right.
strokes he's trying to gain.
Oh wow,
I said, you got anything for the boys?
that was amazing.
No, I
don't
think
wanna
I think
say-
I
I
think
don't
you have
want to
to.
say anything else.
Yeah, I think you got to end it on that
Oh,
note. That's
man.
quite a zinger to end it.
Oh, actually, in
Golly.
honor of Tyson, we actually do have a pick. It's the old guy pick of the week that we're going to start doing, I guess.
I like
And
it.
it's actually a guy that plays very well off of majors. His name is Stuart Sink.
I like
200 to 1.
You know, Stewart came out and showed up at the first round of the Open. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is that who I think it is? Next time I'm looking for
fact that-
David Duval to start shooting up the leaderboard.
Yeah.
It's a guy that plays well after majors. So he actually, his last win came after a major. I would know. I didn't have him. Only had him
Look
top 20.
Although, wait, Chad, how old are you?
43.
So we're in cascading order of Tyson, Paul, and Chad, who all three, I mean, let's be honest, your significant others are significantly younger than you.
We could get a producer in there if you
Yeah,
want.
I mean, if
Oh,
you
yeah, we
guys
got
need,
Jeremy as well, too.
If you guys need help with bagging younger women, then we're the three to talk to.
I'm very
Absolutely.
confused about the direction of this conversation.
Me too, but I don't know what Jeff's getting at.
It's been a bad day for me so far.
Jeff's in shambles, dude.
So
He's just
I'm
in shambles.
I
I'm
mean,
done.
I do see you have a magic shirt on, so it explains everything right there in the beginning.
Well, thank you for tuning in and watching. I
He's
appreciate that.
he's
We need all the
projecting
views we can
today,
get.
that's for sure.
I'm not projecting anything. I got to go talk to my wife, though. Boys, it was a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. I'm sure I'll see you out this week. Look forward to it. Hey, one quick last thing as well, Paul. I notice that we do not have any more fantasy golf. The season is over.
Paul is on mute.
That is
Yes.
correct.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So the Open Championship was the last event of our. I was actually literally in the middle of changing a diaper, but I'll talk about this.
Sexy.
The Open Championship was the last one of our pool. It was won by a preteen. We got beat by
You got my 12-year-old.
a very close friend of mine. Not sure if I'll just say Pez. Shout out to Pez.
Shout out, Pez.
He, crushed us. It was not close. He beat everybody by more than $6 million.
Why is his name Pez?
That's his initials.
Okay.
So, but he is a youth, so I'm not going to just shout him out without it. Next week, I promise I'll say his full name. And
please
and his
don't.
social security
We don't condone
number
the
and we'll put a
underage
picture up.
activities.
Yeah, we'll put his picture up.
Obviously, some of you guys do, but anyway.
I'm out. I'm out
But
on this
very,
one.
very close friend of mine. I actually saw him last week down in Cocoa. His dad finished third, and I can vouch for the fact there was absolutely no collusion because once they got past week one, the young man realized that he was the superior golf picker in the household and would not tell his dad what he was picking ever again.
Well, shout out to him. Congratulations. Very happy for you. Don't spend all the money in one place.
I will be setting another one up, but we're going to go season long. So start from Tournament of Champions next year and go right into the Tour Championship.
Cool. Sounds good. Look forward to it. Thanks,
Can't-
boys. Have a
can't
good
wait.
one. See you soon.
See you later.
And after that segment, we do have some breaking news out of Chicago, Illinois right now. The Bears and Cole Kmet agree on a 4-year, $50 million extension. So congratulations, Mr. Kmet, and welcome to the Chicago Bears for a little longer. Enjoy your bag. Jeffrey, do you have anything else? Anything else you'd like to project on us tonight?
I feel like I'm just gonna sign off today. This might be we might not come back for a week.
Oh, you're not going to do the show on Monday?
I don't know. We'll see.
For those who don't know, I am flying out to New York this weekend, flying out Friday for a big stock convention. Hopefully go learn how to make millions and millions of dollars over the weekend. So Jeffrey will be flying solo, maybe with the 3-time. We'll see if he can figure it out. But
We'll see. I might have to go twerk on OBT to pay some of these bills that I have piling up.
He's got some bills. But we'll keep you updated. We'll see how it goes. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy the rest of the week. We will talk to you soon. Keep playing out there.